World of Warcraft is a game all about killing gnomes. But as you engage in all your gnome-slaying adventures in Azeroth, there's a very, very high chance you might have missed a few things. So today, I'm going to tell you guys 15 things you might have missed in World of Warcraft. Number 1. Do you think that Gilneas is just a big empty zone void of all life? Well, at first glance, you might assume that you're right, but if you look carefully in the windows of Gilneas City, you'll actually see people standing inside of the rooms, peeking out occasionally from the windows before disappearing into the darkness. It's actually kind of creepy. Number 2. Nobody goes to Pandaria anymore, but if you are forced to go there thanks to some Truth or Dare game, you should head down to Krasarang Wilds. Off the coast on a tiny island, you can find tons of tiny little gnome skeletons next to a hatch with a secret note next to them. Now, if you read that note, you will see a series of numbers, and if you are a massive nerd with too much time on your hands, you will figure out that those numbers represent the exact date and time that Diablo 3 was released. Number 3. The haunted school of necromancy, Skullomance, is a pretty creepy place, and to add to its creepiness, if you take a close look at the paintings hanging within the instance, you'll notice that the eyes of the portraits will follow you as you walk around. Nice detail, Blizzard. Number 4. In the most recent patch of 7.2, Blizzard added a tiny feature to World of Warcraft where your character's head will turn to face the direction of whatever you have selected. It's actually a feature I've wanted in this game for a long time, and I'm surprised it took them this long to add it in, but I'm not complaining. Number 5. Have you ever looked at the map of the wetlands in WoW? Now, you see all those rivers that flow into the ocean? Well, guess what? My friends, the map is lying to you, because for some reason, none of the rivers in the wetlands actually reach the ocean, but they all just stop before reaching the water. And why? Nobody knows. Number 6. Do you remember the talking tree in Stormheim? His name was Vidhar, which if you didn't know, was a reference to Vidar, the son of the god Odin in Norse mythology. Vidar is actually one of the few gods who survives Ragnarok. He avenges his father's death at the jaws of the Fenris wolf, and one of his titles is God of the Forest, which is probably why Blizzard turned him into a tree in Legion. Number 7. This might ruin World of Warcraft forever for some of you, but have you ever noticed that on the map of Kalimdor, Thousand Needles it's a big penis. Come on, it's a giant penis. It's something you can't unsee once you've seen it, so I'm sorry. Number 8. In the Netherstorm, you can find a giant Fel Reaver named Negatron, and just in case you might have, lived under a rock for the past 20 years, or maybe your parents didn't allow you to have a childhood, Negatron is clearly a reference to Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons in Transformers. But unfortunately, this Fel Reaver doesn't transform into anything. Number 9. This one is pretty well known, but if you were not aware, if you turn off your music while standing in the Undercity throne room and jack up your ambient volume, you'll actually hear whispers from the cutscene in Warcraft 3 where Arthas murdered his father. You can also see the blood stain from the crown on the floor of the room, as well as the rose petals from the beginning of the cinematic. Number 10. In Dalaran, if you haven't noticed, the NPCs are very polite, and they will actually move out of the way of your character so that they don't run into you while they're walking. Now that's a nice little detail, and it makes the game, I think so anyway, a little bit more immersive. Number 11. Goblins are horny little dudes apparently, because in so many goblin-themed buildings, you can find these pin-up girl calendars up on the walls where goblin babes are, they're showing off their stuff. I like it. Number 12. If you zoom in all the way while in-game and do /read, you will get a first-person view of the scroll that your character is reading. But unfortunately, your hands disappear. Otherwise, it would have been perfect. Number 13. In Dalaran, if you go beside the Forsaken Blight machine in the Horde area, for some reason, the sky will turn evil Legion-themed green. Now, is this proof that the Forsaken are secretly working for the Legion? Could Sylvanas secretly be Sargeras in disguise? We may never know. Number 14. Have you ever noticed that on the map for Val'sharah, there's this giant crack beneath the corrupted tree, yet in-game there's no giant crack or hole anywhere to be found? I guess the druids maybe filled it up with dirt or sand or something before the expansion came out. Number 15. In the battle for Gilneas Battleground, clearly a developer got lazy because all the grass in the battleground are arranged in these perfectly visible square patches. This needs to be fixed ASAP because let me tell you something, these little things, they get on my nerves. They trigger me. So fix it, Blizzard. Fix it. Right now. And that is it, everybody. 15 fun little tiny things you might have missed while on your adventures in Azeroth. Stay tuned for more, let me know if there's anything else that could have made it on the list, and I will see you all very soon. Yep.